Hello, welcome to Last to Eat, the show about everyday people leading others in extraordinary ways. I am freaking excited. I have one of San Antonio's preeminent restaurant owners on the line with me today, and a dear old friend. We go way back from Antonian College Preparatory School. Please welcome Hector Valadez, owner of Poblano's restaurant in downtown San Antonio and prime realty and home loan expert. Hector, how are you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, man. Well, we were talking offline, and we were discussing, the changes in consumer behavior over the last several weeks, especially as people have started to kind of come out of the pandemic. And there's still a lot going on with regards to people's health, but people are starting to get back to a little bit of normalcy. And so for you, what have you observed both at your restaurant and with your realty business? Are you starting to see maybe a return to normalcy, or are you still kind of fighting the tide right now and trying to figure out, how this is going to look when this is all settled?
Well, you see, downtown, we're still fighting the tide. We're just a office-based, restaurant. So if everything's closed downtown, well, we have very little foot traffic. The tourism this summer was at its all-time low, we thought, for us. So we didn't benefit from any tourism this year. However, Labor Day was a real big turnaround. Labor Day was like back 1 year ago, and we were very happy to see that. Some of my friends that own bed and breakfasts downtown, the Inn on the Riverwalk, he said his first day he was full to capacity. So whenever that happens, we're going to be in good shape. Real estate wise, it seems like it didn't slow down; it only picked up. And there's so many things that could have been a factor. Maybe you lost your job, now you got to sell your house. Maybe your job's going to come to an end, so I need to buy a house ASAP before I lose my opportunity. Then you got to wait 2 years. There's that 2 year wait. You got to have 2 years of consecutive work history. So maybe there was a rush and there was a panic, whatever you want to call it. But for real estate, it worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
For our restaurant, not so well.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting about you. You have these two contrasting businesses. One serves food and beverage. The other one serves up homes for a lifetime for families. And
right.
To your point, man, we do a lot of consulting with our agency with the San Antonio Board of Realtors, and that was one of the things we dedicated ourselves to looking at in February. How is the shutdown, the pandemic, going to affect? And surprisingly, we're now 10 months from then, or almost, and the numbers have remained pretty dang solid in San Antonio. So that's good news for your industry, but also for prospective homeowners who may have been scared off by what was going on. So how have you guys, obviously you faced a lot of professional challenges with both businesses, but what have you guys done to adapt? And feel free to, talk about both businesses and how you've adapted to the pandemic and maybe made some changes that are long lasting and going to improve your business for the long term.
The way we've adapted downtown, by force of nature, we had to go to straight to go and pick up, so when we're a downtown location, yes, people want to pick up orders and stuff like that, but they only get 30, 35, 45 minutes. They want to get out of their office and sit somewhere and chit chat with people. So that hurt us a lot. So what we weren't very good at that we got good at was actually we didn't have any. We got into online ordering. You can order from our website now. We got into deliveries. We got more into Uber Eats, DoorDash, and Grubhub deliveries. So, we went from about 20% of carryout orders to about 80%. Now, first we were 100% for a little bit when our dining room was closed, but now that we're 75% capacity, this online order just really saved our business. I'm pretty sure it saved everyone. This DoorDash, Uber Eats. And I know they're making some pretty good money too. So
yeah, and so I'm in the area. I live, work, played in the downtown area, and it didn't take very long, man. I mean, from the time the shutdown hit in mid-March or so to maybe mid-April, a lot of restaurants that I never saw on DoorDash or Grubhub or Uber,
they're all there. Yeah.
They all jumped on board. I was out of necessity, but for you, is this something you've seen the success of it? And I know there's a percentage you have to share with the company, the app provider, but is this something you're going to sustain long term? Do you feel like it's now part of your business model?
Yeah, I think it's 100% part of our business model. I know a lot of restaurants have shifted towards this, and I mean, we got a lot of things different, and we had contact payments. Since we're a counter restaurant, we don't have any wait staff. So we had to make a lot of adaptations. So, I mean, we spent some money acquiring these things. We're definitely not going to say, okay, the pandemic's over, we're going to go back to the old way of doing business. You know, we've already put in some capital that this is how it's going to be probably for the rest of our life doing this restaurant business.
Yeah. You know, it was interesting. I was talking to another friend of ours a few episodes back, Adrian Martinez.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And his process was dramatic. I mean, he went from a 3-story restaurant over in St. Paul Square. He went around the corner to a 1-floor restaurant with a focus on to-go delivery, curbside, and then building out an outdoor patio space for the
Right.
future and anticipating what people are going to be comfortable with doing. You know, and what about with the realty side of what you do? You mentioned that numbers have remained solid. It hasn't been as impacted as negatively, but have there been any other changes that you've had to make? I mean, we do a lot of work with realtors. A lot of home visits have had to be virtual, especially in the early part.
Right.
Have there been any things that you guys have done to adapt to these things?
Yeah. So realtors, they're very social people. So
Yep.
our office is like, you know, it's like a happy hour sometimes. You know, they got to come in, they got to be social. That they kind of feed off everyone's energy. You know, so when we had to close the office down, 4 of our agents got COVID early on in the very beginning. So we said, okay, well, obviously we don't want anyone coming in anymore. So we had to close it down. So it was like taking the TV away from a 3-year-old. You know, they're just like, wait, you can't do this to us. You know, it's like, well, this is how it is right now. We're just gonna have to lay low. So yeah, so I think everyone's business changed. You know, and now everyone's kind of comfortable. Everyone works from home now. So we were actually in a really large office space. We're downsizing quite a bit, and November 1st is when we move into our new building right next to the Papados off 410. Okay. And then in that long glass building, beautiful building. Yeah. We're downsizing a lot. As we start to open our doors back, let's say in July and August, that same connection, the same vibe wasn't there anymore. People were just like, well, yeah, I don't really need to go into the office anymore. I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't really need to have this extra large office space anymore now. So it's kind of right on the money that our lease was up. So, you know, more and more, and I know what we thought is that, I mean, if USAA can work from home, you know, well, then realtors are home-based anyways. You know, we can, as a company, we can kind of shift our focus, you know, and cut our overhead, you know, more than half by reducing our office space. So that's kind of what kept us afloat on that aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. And it has been a big shift. And, you know, I've talked to a lot of commercial real estate agents over the last several months, and, you know, they're anticipating that this will be something that is more long-term, and they're adapting to it. I've talked to a lot of them about how architects and developers are restructuring floor plans.
Right. Yeah.
You know, we used to have 1,400 square feet downtown at the Rand building, and now we're looking at it, maybe we only need half of that.
Right. Yeah.
And, you know, our workforce can work from home and just have a place to come whenever they need to get away and be collaborative. So it's going to be interesting to watch. So home sales, obviously in San Antonio, haven't really been hit that hard, but commercial leasing has
right. Yeah, just like anything, someone wins, someone's going to win, someone's going to lose. So we're going to win. We're going to win by saving overhead, cutting our expenses. You know, we're going to be okay. The one that's going to lose are the landlords that were, you know, charging $2-3 a square foot, you know, getting away with it for a long time. Now they're going to have to really, you know, reconsider either their strategies or what they provide, maybe some whatever. So someone wins, someone loses. It's how it always been. It's how it's always going to go.
Absolutely. So you talked about a few things, both on the restaurant and the realty side, that you've done to adapt. How do you trickle this down to the people that you employ? Obviously, it begins and ends with you, but how do you communicate this and ensure that they're reflecting the values and the changes that you're making through the pandemic?
You know, just like anything, just like when you start a family, it's a responsibility. You know, you have your wife and kids to take care of. You know, as a business owner, as a man, as a father, as a wife, whatever position you're in. Yeah. Just like anything, it's a responsibility. So, as a business owner, if you know, and this is just how I did it. If you know it's going to get real slow, you know, when you sign up as a business owner, you take on responsibility. It's not just myself I take care of. It's if I have one employee, two employees, three employees, four employees, five employees. Those five employees have one, two, three, four, five kids, and they depend on, most of people are check by check every week, check by check, check by check every week. If you take out one check for that week, well, there's problems. So you don't want to be the cause as a business owner to start the problems, and I'm also a landlord too, so I own a lot of rental properties, and I know that they're saying, hey, I can't pay rent. Why? Well, my job fired me. I'll say, okay, well, I know what you're talking about. I know where you're at. So I don't want my employees to have to say, hey, I'm getting evicted, because then it's just full circle. It's going to come right back to me. Karma's a real big deal with us. So we try to maintain as much level as of stable income as we can. Of course, when we got hit really bad in March and April, we were prepared because we had a lot of business savings to kind of pull from. And we had to maintain, we had to support, and I have some family members working for me also. So there's no way I'm going to say, okay, I'm good. My bills are all paid, but you guys, good luck. That's as a business owner, you shouldn't sign up for that. If you do it, maybe you got to kind of change the way you do things a little bit. But we weren't going to let anyone suffer. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. I've had a lot of discussions with business owners around town, and everyone has that mentality. It's like, how do I take care of the people that help take care of my companies? But at the same time, we've also had, some hard discussions about the toll that, the pandemic has taken on us. You probably are there with me when I tell you at the beginning, how am I going to survive? I have to close my doors. How do I fill out this PPP loan? What does this mean? Title them. I mean, there was so much being thrown at business owners in that first 4-week window. It was like daily things were just getting thrown at you that you had to tackle. And so, we talk a lot about with my entrepreneur friends about how do you disconnect, man? How do you recharge your batteries? Obviously, you have your family, and I'm sure they're crucial to that. But are there things that you do that you would recommend to other business owners to say, like, hey guys, if you need to disconnect and just recharge your batteries, I recommend doing these couple things because it works for me.
I've never really been good at disconnecting. I've been, since.
You're a true entrepreneur then, man. You're good.
Even and you'll laugh when I tell you this, I've never had a job. I've never been to a job interview. I don't even have a resume. Just been straight out of high school. My dad was a real big business guy, so I kind of knew, but I wasn't too sure if I was going to jump right into it. But that's how it worked out. So we've never really had the opportunity to kind of disconnect. Since day one. My brother said my older brother, he's never had a job also. From day one, we started just doing real estate, then opening restaurants, doing catering, and now we went to mortgages. So I really wish someone could tell me how to disconnect myself, because just like anything, as just like a business owner, you're on edge. Someone's going to come in here and steal your position, And that happened to us this year. We lost a cafeteria contract, so we're always on edge that we're one phone call away from being this for whatever. So it did happen to us. So that even led us to not disconnect even further. Now we're even deeper. Now we're trying to climb out again. So once we get a little more stability from where we were used to, maybe I can have some thoughts. Maybe someone could tell me, hey, you need to disconnect a little bit. Let me show you how.
Yeah, but same thing. We talked a little bit offline about my company's losses in last quarter and going into this quarter. It's been tough, man. I like to get away, just kind of remove myself from emails, text messages, but it's hard because you're waiting on, especially for us, we lost so much that we were waiting on that phone call or that email that would change our fortunes, because things had gotten pretty bad there for a little bit. So I think a lot of other business owners, man, share that feeling, but we're going to get through. We're going to get through. And, looking at this, obviously from high school all the way through today, you've been in the family business, you've grown your business. there's probably a lot of lessons about leadership you got from your dad. I know your aunt is actively at Poblano's downtown. She's amazing every time we go in there. What are the handful of things that you, in your perspective, make a good leader? What does that person look like?
For me, I would say flexibility. Sometimes as business owners, and I got an MBA from Carnegie, where seems like 20 years ago. I don't even know how long it's been, but
I went to UIW, man. Not an
that's
MBA,
right.
but I
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
that's right. That's right.
2004.
Okay, I guess I was '06 for MBA. Yeah, '06. Okay.
Yep.
I had a really good capstone professor named Bequist. I don't know if you heard of him. Dr. Bequist. He's awesome.
Sounds familiar, but yeah, please.
He would just say, when you're in a position, sometimes you want to act too tough, and you want to act too soft sometimes. So finding the balance and being flexible is what I just, what he told me, I guess like 15 years, I guess, I don't know what year, 15, 16 years ago, that's kind of just really stuck.
Yeah.
Finding the balance to not lean too far the other way, where you're gonna lose a deal or you're not gonna get the deal. You got to ride down the middle.
Yeah, I would agree with that, man. We talk a lot internally about don't get too high, too low. Try and stay even keeled, because your fortunes can change any given moment. So
well, we know that.
So that's good to hear. And we're coming up to the end. I really like this, and for those out there in the realty industry or the restaurant industry, hope this has provided some help and some support. But if those people or just people that are interested in working with you guys for purchase of a new home, or just going downtown and want to find a great place to eat, how do people connect with you and your businesses? Where do they look, and who do they call?
For the most part, I'm not I don't have any social media, but for our businesses wise, my brother's really big into the promotions and those kind of things. Our Facebook page, I think they offer some discounts and those kind of things. So they're always sending out those kind of things. Real estate wise, we've got a pretty big online presence in our mortgage company. We're licensed now in 3 states: Texas, California, Florida. So we're 100% online business. So I think most people would just kind of find us online. We got a couple websites that are pretty good. For the most part, that's the core of the business. And now people saying, hey, you're not online, you're not on social media. Nowadays that means you're not even in business.
Shit.
So I need to do a little bit better, of my self promotion, because everything's online nowadays, and if you're not online, then you're not anywhere right now.
Well, our businesses are, but personally, I'm like you. I'm off the grid when it comes to being on social media, with the exception of LinkedIn, because if I didn't, I think my staff would probably grill me on that. But otherwise, man.
Yeah, I do have a LinkedIn. I do have. That's right.
Yeah. Otherwise, keep on keeping on. If it works for you and your business, I say do it, man. And
I think it's worked for me.
Yeah.
Several years ago when Facebook was popular, I guess back in '06 or '07, whenever I started that, I felt like, man, I just spent 30 minutes on this. What am I doing? This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. And as a business owner, and you're the boss, you got no one telling you what to do. So I can do that for 8 hours and not get in trouble. But in 3-6 months, I'll be in big trouble because I've lost clients. I'm, whatever the fact, whatever the case may be.
And that's good perspective, man. It's really good perspective. Don't chase the notoriety of being recognized online. Chase the notoriety of building something successful for yourself, for your family, and keeping that legacy alive. And so, is there a website people can go to find Poblano's, and then your realty company?
Yeah, it's poblanosonmain.com, www.poblanosonmain.com. The real estate's primerealtytx.com. And the for your mortgages, it's homeloanexpertsusa.com.
Wonderful.
And we can we do all kinds of loans right now. Refinance, purchase, Texas, California, and Florida.
Right on. And for those that are curious about Poblano's, it is directly next door to San Fernando Cathedral.
Okay, so we're inside the San Fernando Cathedral complex. when we first had the fire 10 years ago across the street, the church came up to me at the interview when we're doing for the news station and said, hey, we have a banquet hall that's a small cafe you guys want to open up. And, 24 hours after the building burned our place down, it was an accidental fire by the next tenant. It's like God spoke to us. So not only are we next to the cathedral, we're inside cathedral. My landlord is the archbishop now.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned it about 10 minutes ago about you guys are big believers that karma comes back around.
Right, right.
The way you treat others will be how you are treated in the future. And so, man, I wish you a ton more success, Hector. I look forward to seeing you down at Poblano sometime in the near future. We'll grab some food, grab a beer. We'll talk more stories. And until then, is there any parting shots you'd like to give the business world in San Antonio?
Well, Sam Ochoa.
Yes. Find us for PR and marketing and social media that I'm not on. So I want to thank you again, Hector, for spending some time with us, and thank you to everyone for listening. And until we connect again, we hope your place in life is one of leadership.
I'm just happy to be able to keep the culture alive. I'm really into Mexican food. Just the Mexican culture, fiesta downtown. I'm originally from the south side of San Antonio, so we have another restaurant my dad owns on 35 and Division called Las Cazuelas. It's your south side staple. It's just, I think it's maybe for my generation, maybe some people or maybe even younger don't want to do this kind of business, restaurant business. It's tough work. It's a lot of tough work. There's no glory. Everyone's kind of more technology based. But if we don't do it, we feel like, okay, well, what's going to happen? What's going to happen in 20 years? What's going to happen in 20 years? Yeah. So, we're all in. We're Mexican food growth, Mexican culture. Keeping San Antonio the way it is.
I love it, man. Well,
go downtown, you'll see it. Fiesta. Hopefully, it makes a comeback.
Absolutely, brother. Well, thank you so much, Hector. I'll talk to you soon, and thank you for joining us today.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, buddy. Bye.